What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. This week's episode is about what exactly went wrong with the ban list that we got yesterday. So if you guys remember, yesterday I actually posted 2 videos in one day. That's never happened to me before, as far as I know anyway. If you guys saw, I posted a box opening of the, I guess, semi-new Legendary Duelist Season 2, and then of course just minutes after I posted the ban list. I revealed the ban list, and I mean the ban list looked pretty promising, but there were so many problems with it that we completely missed after yesterday. So to review what cards got banned, we got Union Carrier banned, which was focused on equipping monsters to this card and and being able to lock your opponent out of so many different so many different things, the extra deck and whatnot. Number S0, Utopic Zexal, that was mainly with, that was back when the Numeron archetype finally came to pass, and Utopic Zexal basically just told your opponent, you ain't playing shit. And then of course True King of All Calamities, VFD, was basically the same thing. It basically just told your opponent you can't play. It all depended on the attributes. So, and then of course for the cards that got limited, the only card that did get limited was Cyber Angel Benton. This was mainly because of the fact that Drytrons were completely abusing this card. But one thing that was wrong with it is the fact that Benton is not a once per turn. Literally, it's not a once per turn, meaning you can use the effect over and over and over again as many times as you want. So, I mean, putting it to 1, I think it's okay, but but I just don't really see any I really don't see any. You guys know, I don't really see the reason to limit it to 1. I would have just banned it right off the bat. And then of course for cards that are no longer on the list, meaning you could actually use 3, you have Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. Again, this locks your opponent out of summoning from the extra deck, so I don't know why you would want to bring this back. Firewall Dragon, we knew Firewall Dragon was gonna come back because of the errata, and it's gonna be the errata is going to be released in the next set, which will be Ghosts of the Past, which I'm going to be getting a couple of mini boxes of as well. So I think it's going to be a Ghost Reader in the set. And then of course 2 Phantom Knights of Rusty Bardiche. I know that PKs didn't really do a whole lot with this card, when it was banned. Now that it's back off the list entirely, I mean, even at 3, I think using 1 or 2 copies would be the best way to go. And then of course DeLorean, Ice Barrier. I mean, with the Ice Barrier structure that just came out, you really can't. There's really not much to say about it. Ignister Prominence, Pendulums. Even with this card off the list, it's not gonna do any good. Pendulums are probably not gonna do anything with this card. Let me take a look. Let me see. Let's see. Hang on 1 second, guys. No, I did not want that. No. The Blasting Draco Slayer, is that the one? Yep. Alright, so here we are. Ignis of Prominence, the Blasting Draco Slayer, is a 8-star Dragon Synchro Fire attribute, 2850 attack and 0 defense, and requires a tuner and a non-tuner pendulum. Let's see here. Once per turn, you can target a pendulum monster on the field or a card on the field, or a card on. Let me rephrase. Once per turn, you can target a pendulum monster on the field or a card in the pendulum zone, destroy it, and if you do, shuffle a card on the field back into the deck. Once per turn, you can special summon a Draco Slayer monster from your deck in defense, but it cannot be used as single material for a summon. For the summon of single material of a single monster. All right, so yeah, it really doesn't do anything. You know, I mean, sure it can. I mean, sure, it can pop a monster, you know, pop a card that, you know, that you or your opponent might have, but that really does nothing, given the fact that, you know, knowing someone, you know, somebody like Triff Gaming, Steven Triffenall, I completely butchered his name, but he calls himself the Pen God, always says that pens are God tier. I don't believe that. Honestly, I think pendulums have been dead for years, in my personal opinion. But again, that's just one man's opinion. But again, with pendulums, you're able to recurge pretty much your whole, you know, all of your resources, and it'll end with the same board no matter what. So, I mean. Yeah, so again, honestly, Ignis of Prominence does nothing, honestly. And then Argent Chaos Force, that was another pretty broken card that, that actually did a lot of damage back in the day. So it says here, target a rank 5 or higher exceeds monster you control, special summon from your deck a chaos number, or a chaos exceeds monster that is one rank higher than that monster you control by using it as exceeds material. This special summon is treated as an exceeds summon. When a rank 5 or higher exceeds monster is special summon you to your side of the field while this card is in your grave, except there is a damage type, you get this card from your grave to your hand. You can only use this effect once per duel. So yeah, so you're basically able to use the effect twice, I guess. Which that was a pretty broken card. I know that this was like one of the big ways to summon VFD, and with VFD banned, I mean, I can understand this card coming back, so I can totally understand it. True King's Return, I mean, given the fact that Diagram is still at 1, and also True King Lodosogym, the Disaster, is still at 1. True King's Return isn't going to do anything, but you know. So let's talk about some of the problems that are within the meta post ban list. Drytrons are still able to make their boards, even though Benton is at 1. Drytrons are still able to find a way to make the boards that they've been able to make, such as using the Megalith archetype, using other ritual monsters that are able to bring out, you know, your Drytron ritual monsters. You know, I know that in some decks I've seen they've been able to use Preparation of Rites, pre-preparation of Rites, you know, even also too, which is kind of an interesting one, but it does work. I know that that Manju of the 10,000 Hands has been pretty viable with a lot of ritual decks over the years, and This one is no different. This one is no different. Virtual World is still able to make their boards, you know, with Ultimate Zulkin, Muddy Mud Dragon, Crystal Wing, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. It's just absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. So I think with the next ban list, I feel like Konami needs to target the more problematic decks, target those, and then maybe the meta will be steady like it was last year when we had the cleanup crew. They cleaned up the meta so bad. I know that they targeted, if I remember correctly, let me see, if I remember right, hang on. Alright, never mind. If I remember correctly, that ban list, I think we had gotten like, I think it was like more than 15 cards banned. I think we had like more than 7 cards banned, 5 cards limited, and then a couple of cards like semi-limited. So it really wasn't anything too crazy, but yeah, this one obviously given the fact that we have the the remote duel regionals, so to speak, coming up this coming weekend, I really can't say that I'm surprised. But again, Virtual World is still viable. Dry transfers is still viable. There are just so many different decks out there that can still utilize, that can still make boards even with VFD, with Zexal, and even with Union Carrier ban, even with Benton ban, Drytrons will still be able to make their boards. So I feel like, in the next ban list, I feel like El Shadal Winda needs to get hit, because Winda was, I know that Shadals are still pretty viable now. Are still pretty viable nowadays, and Winda, I feel like Winda needs to get hit. And the reason why I say that, okay, seriously, I swear these ads are stupid. Thank you. Alright, and the reason why I say that Winda should get hit is because of this. Is because of this. El Shadal Winda is a Dark Spellcaster Fusion, 5-star, 2200 attack, 1800 defense, and it requires a Shadal monster and a Dark monster, so it could be pretty much any Dark monster you could think of. Must first be special summoned. Must first be fusion summoned. Sorry, cannot be destroyed by an opponent's card effects. So that right there is just like broken on its own. Each player can only special summon monsters once per turn while this card is face up on the field. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target one Shadal spell or trap in your grave, add it to your hand. So with Winda, you're locking your opponent out of summoning multiple monsters you're locking your opponent out of their normal summon, meaning your opponent cannot normal summon a single monster. They can only special summon. And not only that, when if Winda is sent to the graveyard, you can target a Shadal spell or trap from your grave and add it to your hand. A card like that, a card like Winda, would be able to grant you access to one of the Shadal, revival monsters, which would give you back this card, which would give you back Winda. So I feel like Winda is another one that definitely needs to get hit. Of course, if these aren't my July ban list predictions, honestly. these are just like my thoughts on what cards I feel like should get hit. But I will be doing a ban list prediction video sometime in June. So just before July 1st, I will be doing a ban list prediction video, and I'll be talking and I'll talk a little bit more about it. But again, so many there are so many problems. Dragoon needs to I feel like Dragoon should also get hit, even though we just got Dragoon last year. I feel like it's had its time. I feel like it has had its time, and maybe it is time for that card to get hit. Another card that I feel like should be taken off the list, and it's kind of an interesting one, but I feel like as if Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon should come off. And the reason why, we have Thunder Dragon Colossus still banned. With it gone, there's no point in having number 95 off the list, remaining on the list. There's no point. So that card so Dark Matter Dragon may come off the list, but given the fact that it's able to make a second attack during each turn, it really would not surprise me if they stayed on the list. Another thing as well, Dragon Leagues are still pretty viable, so Elpie, Pisty should also get hit. And keep in mind, Guard Dragon Agripane was one of the first of the 3 Guard Dragons to get hit. That leaves 2, Pisty and Elpie. If those two get hit, Dragon Leagues would be dead. Dragon Leagues would be dead in their tracks. I ain't saying nothing about it. But yeah. Again, those are just some of the many problems that we have with the meta post ban list. I honestly don't know what to think anymore. I mean, I know that I'm looking at the at the cards that are forbidden, and just to show you guys how broken they are. Blackwing, go for the Vague Shadow, Steam the Cloak, Dandelion, Glow Up Bulb. Those are just and of course 2 Mega Phantom Beast O-Line. Those are just some of the cards that were able to spam tokens. Spam tokens to go into your link plays, and that's why cards like those are banned. Astrograph Sorcerer was mainly because of the fact that it was the sole purpose of banning Astrograph Sorcerer was because of how broken the Zark engine was broken, how broken the engine was when it was released in Maximum Crisis. Because you guys know, Maximum Crisis was the last set of the Arc 5 era before we got into Vrains. And Astrograph Sorcerer was pretty stupid. Magical Scientist, I mean, come on. Magical Scientist, FTK, summon a bunch of fusions, 10-50 damage each, combo it off with Catapult Turtle. Come on, really? Really? I don't have to say anything more about it. Harp Horror, Orcus has been dead for a while now, ever since Harp Horror got hit. I don't really see that card coming back anytime soon. Master Plan was mainly because of the fact that Magician Souls was abusing this card way too much. So again, I feel like maybe Magician Souls should get hit. I know that the Dark Magician deck would probably be dead by then, but yeah. So those are just some of the things. Shockmaster was pretty broken back in the day. Brilliant Fusion, Chicken Game. God, I hate those days. That Grass Looks Greener. Probably one of the most broken cards of the meta. I believe this was released in Raging Tempest, if I remember right. If I remember right, it was either Raging Tempest or Invasion Vengeance. I want to say it was Raging Tempest. Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. So it was Raging Tempest. So yeah, it was a secret rare, and to show you guys how broken that card was, it says if you have more cards in your deck than your opponent does, send cards from the top of your deck to the grave, so you have the same number of cards in the deck as your opponent. You're basically able to have. You're basically the card basically just says, let's reset the decks. Reset the decks. This card was being abused so much they had to ban it. In fact, I think they banned it. I think it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, somewhere around there, somewhere around there. But yeah, so guys, that's gonna do it for this episode of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Let me know in the comments below. Excuse me, your thoughts on the ban list from yesterday and what other decks could be a problem in the meta. So again, these are just my thoughts anyway. But again, comment below your thoughts on the ban list and what decks do you think are going to be a problem in the meta going into the next ban list in July. Comment below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash the thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, which gets posted every single Friday. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you guys do not miss out on any new content that comes your way. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. You guys know I always have 2 Twitter accounts, 2 separate ones. One for WWE, one for Yu-Gi-Oh! Both links will be in the description. My Instagram link will also be in the description as well. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.